All right, let's get right into it. We are not talking about some distant sci fi future today. We're talking about a massive shift that is happening right now. A revolution that's already changing everything about how we work, how we live, and how we think about value itself. Look, this isn't just hype. This is a flat out warning from Eric Schmidt, the guy who used to run Google. He's saying what we're living through right now is as big as the invention of the printing press. That is a heavy, heavy statement, and it really sets the stage for the scale of what we're about to break down. And yeah, that's exactly the right way to think about this. This isn't just another tech trend, like a new app or something. The sources we're looking at are describing this as a historic, unstoppable wave, a total restructuring of our society, and it is moving way faster than anyone thought possible. Now, this slide is super interesting because it contrasts this AI wave with the last huge thing we all went through, the pandemic. Well, that was a stoppage, right? It was a crisis we all shared. It kind of put the whole world on pause, and in a weird way, we were all in it together. The AI revolution is the complete opposite of that. It's a selection. It doesn't pause anything. In fact, it hits the fast forward button for anyone who's ready. And that creates this huge gap between the people who get it and the people who don't. It's not a shared crisis, it's an individual race. Think about it like a runaway train. The speed is, well, it's not really in human hands anymore. You've got these giants like Google and Microsoft, and entire countries like the US and China locked in this intense race. Nobody can afford to pump the brakes. So the train is gone. It's left the station. The only question you have to ask yourself is, are you on it? Or are you just standing on the platform watching it disappear down the track? Okay, so let's get into the why behind all this. What's the core economic engine driving this revolution? This is where it gets really, really fascinating. You gotta hear this story about aluminum. Back in the 19th century, it was more precious than gold. No joke. Emperor Napoleon III of France, he'd serve his most important guests with forks and spoons made of aluminum. The less important guests, they had to settle for gold. But then this new technology came along, electrolysis, and suddenly making aluminum was cheap. And just like that, the ultimate luxury item became something we use for disposable cans. And that right there, that's the perfect analogy for what OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says is happening right now. The price of intelligence is absolutely crashing towards zero. The very thing our entire professional world is built on, human brain power, is going through the same thing aluminum did. But was once this rare, valuable thing you had to work hard for, is quickly becoming a cheap, abundant utility you can just turn on. And if you think this is just some, far-off idea, just look at the money being thrown around. Microsoft and OpenAI are talking about spending 75 trillion yen on a single AI project. That's over $500 billion US dollars for one project. To put that in perspective, that is more than 3 times the entire cost of the Apollo program that put a man on the moon. So yeah, this isn't a theory. It's happening, and it's being funded on a scale we've never seen before. So, the big question, right? How does this whole price of intelligence crashing thing actually affect you and your job? Because, well, it's already starting. And this isn't about some entry-level job. Listen to this. This quote is from a tech CEO. A CEO. He gave a complex technical problem to an AI agent, walked away for 4 hours, and when he got back, the job was done perfectly. His own conclusion was chilling. His own technical skills were basically obsolete. This is what some are calling the boiled frog problem. You know the story, right? The frog's in a pot of water, and the heat is turned up so slowly that it doesn't even notice it's being cooked until it's too late. The roles that are feeling the heat first are the ones built on moving information around. Think real estate agents, admin staff, junior analysts, paralegals, even middle managers whose whole job is basically to track progress and write reports. All of that stuff is being automated at an incredible pace. And here's what's maybe the hardest part to wrap your head around. Our entire idea of a career is built on the belief that putting in the hours and gaining experience makes you more valuable. But what happens when a task that takes a smart, hardworking person 3 days to complete can be done by an AI in 5 minutes, and probably better? Suddenly, all that effort and experience, its value just collapses. The career ladder that we've all been trying to climb is literally being pulled out from under us. Okay, so that's the scary part. But this isn't about doom and gloom. It's about what you can do about it. Because this disruption is also a massive, massive opportunity. So let's flip this around. Let's talk about the solution. A clear, actionable strategy for you to survive and actually thrive in this new world. It all starts with what you might call a quiet update. And you start today. Number 1, automate yourself. Find the most boring, repetitive parts of your job, the reports, the scheduling, the data crunching, and use AI to get rid of them. The goal is to make yourself insanely productive before your boss thinks of replacing your tasks. 2, use all that time you just saved to create and share things. Use AI as your partner to build a portfolio that shows what you can do. 3, get out into the real physical world. Go meet people, have real conversations, get your hands dirty. AI can't do that. And finally, and this is the most important one, start now, by yourself. Do not wait for your company to roll out some training program. The tools are right there on your computer, on your phone. And this quote just nails the opportunity we're talking about. Right now, most people are just kind of walking around, a little confused, maybe a little scared by all this change. In that environment, if you decide to run, you're going to stand out big time. That gap between how fast the tech is moving and how slow companies are to adapt, that's your biggest advantage. So it all comes down to this one final choice. It really illustrates the two paths that are opening up in front of all of us. And the question is simple. Are you going to be a conductor, or are you going to be a cog? You see, in this new world, there are really only two roles left. The cog is the person who just does the tasks. They follow instructions, they execute a process, they ask how, and increasingly, the cog is going to be managed by an AI. But the conductor, that's the person who directs the AI. They ask why and what if. They define the goal, they understand the big picture, and they take full responsibility for the final result. All the value, all the money is shifting away from just doing the task, and it's all flowing to the person who can define the mission. The conductor is essential, the cog is a commodity.
And so that's the question I'm leaving you with. AI has made raw intelligence cheap, practically free. But in doing so, it's made things like will, creativity, context, and responsibility infinitely more valuable. The tools to be a part of this revolution are literally in your hands at this very moment. The choice of what to do with them, that's all on you. So, which will you choose?